going back to the 1990s when a number of the kind of Gingrich Republicans made approving statements and nods to the militia movement of the 1990s and even people who kind of overlapped with Timothy McVeigh's terrorism. So this stuff has deep roots. But starting more, I guess, at the narrow, you met this guy. He was spouting nonsense, known to police, not disavowed by these event organizers. Until he murdered,
cameras are around.
until the cameras are around. Can you talk specifically about the incident and the murder, and then I guess you said his ideology is clear. Every time that I've kind of engaged on this at all, there's been this response that, oh, he was a Bernie Sanders supporter. That's been a big kind of talking point to sort of move him away from the racist and Islamophobic regions that he properly travels in, and then also that along with that, and obviously in order to murder two people, of course there's a mental illness, obviously, but there is ideology here. But people always try to go to either confuse the ideology or turn it into a conversation that's vague and amorphous about, this is just a crazy guy. Not, yes, maybe a crazy guy, but also a guy that was motivated by a very clear ideology. So I guess explain the incident and what is this guy's actual ideology. I'm assuming he's not a Bernie-crat.
Well, let me hit as many of those things as I can at once. I mean, he showed up to his arraignment shouting, death to Antifa, death to the enemies of America.
Yeah, we have sound of that.
Free speech or die. One of the only people that showed up to support him showed up in skinhead gear and then was driven away from the courthouse by supporters of one of the victims. He did on his Facebook page express support for Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein. I think the best interpretation I saw of that was from one of the weird Twitter accounts that said, this is a troll designed to divide the left. And I think it fits completely with the MO of white supremacist organizing. I think that's the most reasonable interpretation. His expressed admiration for the Oslo murderer, Anders Breivik, predates his admiration for Bernie Sanders. Right. His persistent posting of anti-Semitic and racist memes predates his admiration for Bernie Sanders, which was always framed in the context of hating and wanting to murder Hillary Clinton. Right. It's really, the origin of his of the Bernie stuff is clowns and liars like Mike Cernovich, and unfortunately, some Hillary Clinton diehards have decided to run with it for their own reasons. Incredibly cynical. Right. You can go look at his Facebook postings himself. Here's a few quotes that I think are perhaps more relevant than his Bernie Sanders posts, these are post-dated, more closer to the killing. I think this one's from January. He said, if Trump is the next Hitler, then I am joining his SS. He said, brown shirts are rank and file. Nihilist criminals like me facilitate and run the show if we're talking about recreating the Third Reich. Right. You need unhindered and unhinged thugs for dirty work. Now, does that sound like a Bernie Sanders supporter that you've ever spoken to? Right. That sounds like a white supremacist who's ready to take the fall to instigate a race war or some other crackpot agenda.
Corey, that's exactly right. And I just want to go back to, and then we'll get to the incident, but I just want to, you mentioned it. We do have sound of him at his arraignment. And yeah, this doesn't, and I'll add too, as someone who's been a pretty sharp critic of Jill Stein, it certainly doesn't sound like a Jill Stein supporter either. This is him.
39 from the Metropolitan.
Free speech or die, Portland. You got no safe place. This is America. Get out if you don't like free speech.
954039 from the Metropolitan Public Defender. 92464-7, also from the Public Defender's Office. We're appointed by OPDS to represent this defendant. At this time, I'll tell you that we can acknowledge receipt of a 9-count information in this case filed by the District Attorney's Office. Mr. Christian's name is spelled correctly in the upper left-hand corner. He's going to waive reading and advice of rights, but reserve the right to move against this charge against him for any reason in the future. He'd also like to maintain his right to a speedy trial in this particular case.
Okay, all right.
Next court appearance, June 7th at 9:30, back here in JC3, and the case is especially assigned to Judge Albright.
Thank you.
One more time. He's about to go again.
Death to the enemies of America. Leave this country if you hate our freedom. Death to Antifa.
And I think, yeah, I mean, Bernie couldn't have said it better himself. Yeah.
Hey, Sam Seder here. Folks, you probably heard about the whole YouTube advertiser apocalypse. Well, we're suffering from it too. We need your help. If you want to keep this show alive, you want us to be able to still put out clips on a regular basis, head over to our Patreon page. Here's the link right here or down below there. And just give us a couple bucks a month and support this program. Really appreciate it.